Welcome to Web3, blockchain, and all this, the extra stuff. Web 1, Web 2, Web 3. My name is Ronald Friedman. I'm a science fiction writer. I'll talk a little bit more about myself later. And let's continue because we have a long presentation. So what is on the agenda today? I'm going to give the 50,000 feet overview of what is blockchain, what is Web3 and NFT. And why am I doing it? For two main reasons. One, because writers, a lot of time people ask me what kind of future technology I can use that nobody else write about. So the big ideas of things that are going to impact the future, like artificial intelligence, climate change, space flight, those are covered in quite a lot of story. Also different sociology issues, use social structures. Blockchain, a lot of writers don't know what it is all about, and they don't know how it's working. And this is quite an important technology. It is coming in the future. There are good things about it, bad things about it. But when you create a story and you're looking for a topic that is not covered in many other books or movies, then if you know a little bit about blockchain and use it in your world building, it could be an advantage that other writers don't have. And the second thing is more for publishers or writing or writers or self-published. They want to know how to use NFTs in order to, as an additional channel to promote their work to the public. And then at the end, I'm going to talk about ESG. A lot of people have a concern, and it is a real concern about the impact of the environment, and leave time for Q&A. As I said, ideally, try to not interrupt, but ask question in the middle so I can enhance on some topic that we are currently talking about, because this is the advantage of doing a presentation in this form. It's a little bit more interactive than a YouTube channel. About myself, I have a YouTube channel called Sci-Fi, where I talk mostly about scientific or engineering issues, topics, and how they are represented in sci-fi. I'm currently working on a novel that takes place on Mars, and the economy there is based, at least in part, on blockchain, which is it could be a little bit more efficient than traditional monetary systems. So most of my video I released are not related to blockchain, but a couple are there, so you can check the channel. Also, this channel is a finalist for the Aurora Award, which the ceremony will take place next. So maybe it will win. There is a 20% chance. So I write a little bit about the blockchain technology. I attempted to mine a little bit in 2013, and of course I lost my wallet. I don't think I had a lot. I don't know what, but I started a little bit to invest, not a huge amount, in 2020 in order to better understand how it's working. I have a few NFT that I bought, one that I created with a short story. That my short story is available as NFT if anybody wants to buy it. And also help my daughter to mint her. She is an artist, help her mint NFT as well. So, as we said, one of the reasons we want to talk about blockchain is because it's could enhance the storytelling. It could enhance the plot. And what better than just talk about Satoshi Nakamoto? Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? This could be something that is a science fiction time travel. It could be used as in thrillers. It could be used in mystery, treasure hunt, because it's a fascinating story. So let's go back to the year 2008. A lot of people here probably have been through this period. We had a big recession. All the stock market went down. It's the subprime recession. The government printed a lot of money, and they bailed out some of the big financial institutes. They pumped them, gave them a lot of money. They let a lot of small businesses collapse. I was working back then for a high-tech company that raised money, and then suddenly they couldn't raise money, so they had something like 200 employees, and they lay off everyone. So I lost my job over there. It was a pretty rough time. So was this I don't know, it could be a he or a she or they, it could be a group of people, we don't know. That person or group of people, he, she, or they, released white paper in the year 2009 in reaction to all the events that happened during the subprime recession. And we don't know much about this person who identified as Satoshi Nakamoto. What we do know is that person probably had a lot of experience in cryptology. He knew about how to, about internet security. He knew a lot about computer science. He also had a lot of knowledge on economy. And he released a white paper basically about Bitcoin. Basically, it's a distributed database that instead of sitting in one central computer that the bank is managing or the government is managing, and you're responsible for make sure all the numbers that are correct, the data is going to distribute over many computers. It could be dozens, thousands of computers, and those computers will release information between themselves. And as long as most computers they reach a consensus which bit of information belong to a person, then it is belong to a person. So in order to have Bitcoin, you need two things. You need a private key or a wallet address. A private key. And the second thing, you need a wallet address. And the whole infrastructure is the only thing it does. It decides on the internet that which coin or which piece of information belong to this specific wallet. And that's how, as long as most of the computer agree that, let's say, you own that Bitcoin, that Bitcoin indeed belongs to you. So the information is distributed, it could be more secure. And another thing that it's limited to only 21 million coins. So you cannot print more than 21 million. That means it's supposed theoretically to also protect against inflation. So the mystery that we have is that nobody knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is. He released a white paper and launched Bitcoin. He did all kind of transaction. He did post all kind of information on social media. But the last time, in 2014, Newsweek claimed they discovered who Satoshi Nakamoto is. They thought it was an American called Dorian Nakamoto. Dorian, of course, that's the guy here on the picture, where the mouse is. He denied that he is, and in 2014, Satoshi Nakamoto, that we know that he has the private key of a wallet that has 1 million Bitcoin in them, released a comment: Dorian Nakamoto is not Satoshi Nakamoto. And that's the last time we heard for Satoshi Nakamoto, who is a person that have the key to the Bitcoin wallet that has 1 million coin in it. And since then, there was no transaction on this wallet. On the blockchain, we cannot control the Bitcoins, but we know how many coin each wallet has. And we also know all the history of the transaction. So this is a huge, huge treasure hunt. Imagine that, let's say, Jack Sparrow found a treasure chest that has 100, or let's say 10 kilo, 100 kilos of gold. We know that each 1 kilogram of gold is worth about $50,000. So 100 kilos of chest, that's something very heavy that one person cannot even carry, will be worth $5 million. That wallet that Satoshi Nakamoto has 1 million Bitcoin that are roughly worth about $30 billion. That's a huge amount. So we have some theory what happened to him. One theory is that he, she, or they knew that they must remain anonymous. So you need to have nerves of steel to have $30 billion of asset and not use it, not try to buy anything, so just for the future of humanity. Another option is that Satoshi Nakamoto met, so it's not that he died, so it's not Dorian Nakamoto, but somebody else. And of course, there could be an embarrassing fact or theory that he, she, or they lost the key. but anyone who wants to write a story about who Satoshi Nakamoto is and how to find the wallet, or who control the wallet or not control the wallet, it could be an excellent ground for writing either a great mystery or treasure hunt story. I was thinking about maybe do a short story collection on this topic. So if anyone have any interest, they can engage me. I'm probably not going to do that, but maybe. So what is a Bitcoin? Bitcoin is the first global private digital currency system. Every word is important. So first of all, it's not issued by a government, it's private. It's digital, so it's not like gold or something that you can touch. It's a currency system. It's distributed. The proof of ownership is not what the big server in the server farm that controlled by the bank say. It is distributed among thousands of computers. We don't want that each computer will have a vote. This is not going to work. Why? Because today you can go to Amazon AWS and spawn thousands of computers, and we don't want a situation that one group of people or one entity or one company will control more than 50% of the computer that decided which Bitcoin belong to whom. So as long as no one entity control 50% of the consensus, it's very, very, very difficult to hack. So the system they chose is a proof of work. That means you need a lot of computers that try to solve very, very complex problems. And that, of course, consume the hardware costs a lot of money and it consume a lot of energy. So it's not something easy to do to control more than 50% of the infrastructure. It is distributed among many data centers and many people, an individual who mine at home and do stuff like that. And we have what I spoke earlier, public key and public key. What is the advantages over traditional financial system? First of all, it's not inflationary. There will never be more than 25 million coins. Or if you divide 8 billion people, among 8 billion people, each person can only have less than 0.1% of a coin, if each one will have it equally. Settlement could take, for example, my parents, they live abroad in Israel, and they wanted to send me money. It cost them $25 for the transaction just to send me a little present. And it took 24 hours in business day until I saw the money. If they use digital currency like this, the transaction would cost probably cents, or very low. If it's a layer 2, could be even a fraction of a cent instead of $95, and it will appear within seconds instead of days. And also, it's not controlled by a central authority. There is advantage, but also disadvantage, because sometimes we do want the government to act in order to fix the economic problems. Now that we know what is Bitcoin, which was the first cryptocurrency, we'll go into what is Web3. First, is there any question from the audience? I hear cricket. Okay, let's continue. What is Web3? Web 1 was old website from the late 1990s, early 2000. There were static pages. You went to a website, you type www.yahoo.com, and then you can show article, text, and images, and you read it. So it's a one-way, non-interactive, static pages. Web 2, this is something like Facebook or YouTube, or a lot of other sites that have the read and write. So it's more interactive. You have people, you can go to a site, read whatever people are posting on Facebook or Twitter, and then you can write your own stuff on Facebook. So you share the content. However, there is still one authority, the company Facebook or the company Twitter, that they control the infrastructure, they control the money. If they make money from advertising, they will see it, not the reader, not the person who posts a comment or posts an article. And Web3 is something else that nobody know exactly what it is, but generally speaking, is like Web3, like 2, but with blockchain technology incorporated into it. That means we have a read, write, and also own. So this is the part that writers want to make it pay attention. That means that a payment system, an honor, a value system, something that you own, it's already incorporated into the internet. So that's mean we can build a new kind of organization, not in a corporate like Facebook or Twitter. We can own some part of it, and when you contribute it, we can get paid for it. This is something that was missing from the internet. Of course, it's not yet regulated. It's still being developed. There are still a lot of hacks. There is still a lot of issue with it. It's still in early stage. But the vision that maybe in 10 years or so, it will be integral part of the internet, and you don't need to learn about private key and public key and consensus and all these terms. But you will be able to use the web and own part of it, or own part of a social group, or own part of some kind of organization, and be paid for your work directly from there, and the ownership will be distributed rather than one company. Now go to Ethereum and smart contract. Ethereum is the second biggest coin or blockchain or cryptocurrency after Bitcoin. Ethereum was conceived in 2013 by a Canadian, originally from Russia, a Russian-Canadian programmer called Vitalik Buterin. It has a lot more functionality than Bitcoin. Bitcoin only tell you what coin belongs to what person. But Ethereum also have smart contract incorporated into them. So it has a lot more utility. Another big news that are coming to Ethereum is the merge. Currently Ethereum is working on proof of work. It means that it uses a lot of electricity, and you do a lot of powerful video cards and computer and servers in order to validate the transactions, and it consumes a lot of energy. And it's going to move to a different system called proof of stake. That then if you take your Ethereum and stake it into the system, it means you can validate the transaction, and the energy consumption will be a lot lower. So this could be one of the things that we can talk later when we speak about ESG and environment concerns. So the amount of energy that will be used per transaction will be maybe 1,000 times less or 2,000 times less. And as I said, it has a lot of utilities. One of the things that Ethereum, most of the NFTs are Ethereum. There are other coins other than Ethereum that have it, like Solana, Cardano, and a few others. Ethereum is the big king right now. So NFT, I'll talk later about NFT. Another thing that runs on Ethereum is stable coins. It's something like a digital coin that is match the US dollar. That means if you need to transfer US dollar and you don't want to convert it to Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other digital currency, you want $1 and sell $1, that it will stay $1. But we want to do it a lot faster, that all the settlement will take seconds instead of days, and the commission will be a lot lower. It will be a fraction of a cent instead of $10, $20, $30, $50. I don't know how much money it costs now to send money from somebody here to the Philippines, but it will be a lot cheaper. Stablecoin also, most of them running on the Ethereum network. DeFi, distributed financials. Right now, if you have some money and you put it in a saving account in the bank lend it to credit card company, who then lend it for take 19 or 29% profit, but they will give you only 1% for your saving accounts. So with DeFi, you can get a lot more of the money. So you have some money either in stablecoin or in Bitcoin or in Ethereum, and you loan it to a company to somebody else, and they charge 10 or 15% and give you 8 or 9%. So you can get a much better returns. Of course, it's not regulated, so this is not a financial advice. It will take more time. There are a lot of problems with it. There are also some problems with the protocols, but it is something that seems like it's going to be more in the future. And DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, that's what I talked earlier about, social networks and organizations that are not corporation, but not incorporated companies, but a corporation of individuals who work together toward a common goal, and then they own some of the ownership based on different formulas. And this is, everything is programmable, so it has a lot of powers in it. Any questions in the chat? Quiet. Okay. I'm not monitoring the chat. Maybe I'll look. I'm here. Welcome. Nothing at this point. Okay. Close the chat. Next, we're going to talk about what is NFT. Again, every word is super important. NFT is the first global private digital ownership registration system. What does it mean? It means that you can register something digitally, electronically. It will be distributed potentially on the Ethereum network or one of the other networks. So it will be available everywhere in the world. And you can basically register everything. The most popular thing that people are registering right now are JPEGs, images. And the acronym means non-fungible token. It means that it's unique, something unique. You cannot make infinite. Like if you buy an ebook on Amazon, you can sell 1,000,000 copies. It doesn't matter which copy, it could be distributed to one with the other, replace one with the other. But if you have a collectible and it's the first book in the series and only one person have this book, you can register it as an NFT. Another example is the Mona Lisa. I posted here a picture of the Mona Lisa. It's a very famous picture. People can post it on the wall. People can print it and put it in their house, do whatever they want with it. But everybody knows that the original Mona Lisa is right now in the Louvre in France, and they are the real owner. Everybody who made a copy, yeah, you can make a copy, but you're not the real owner. So NFT is a way to register ownership. It could be something physical. It could also something digital, like a JPEG, or a book, or an ebook, or a lot of stuff that I'll cover later. But it's just two warnings. One is that technology is still it's in infancy. There are a lot of scammers, a lot of hacker. It's not regulated. Still, if you're an honest artist or an honest writer, you can still make money using it. And I try to make some fun. So I put some internet beam throughout the presentation. Okay, some of the highest value NFTs on the market. One is called the Merge. It is worth $91 million, running on Ethereum. Second one, first 5,000 days, sold for, the last time it was sold was $69.3 million. Also it's running on Ethereum. Third one is a clock, a timer that counts the number of days that Julian Assange spent in prison. $52 million, running on Ethereum. That one is actually a representation of physical art. There is a kinetic sculpture of like a kid walking in an astronaut. It's on the actual display, but they also registered an NFT of the same event. So the owner of the art can still have it. So you can look at the NFT like another form of another media. Like if you have a book, you can also sell it as an ebook. You can sell it as audiobook. You can sell movie rights. Now you can also sell it as an NFT. But NFT, it says collectible. It has to be unique. And I'll show you later how some of the model works with. And this piece is worth 28.9 million, running on Ethereum. Next one is a CryptoPunk. They were very popular like 2 years ago, $23 million. And of course, there is this one that catch all the headlines about a year ago, about one of the CryptoPunk that was sold for $532 million. That's a huge amount, but it's not really sold because from what a rumor has it, it's that the seller sold it to himself just to create the headlines. But, yeah, so there are still a lot of scammers, so we have to worry about it. Now, this is for writers. How to mint your first NFT. So this is the not most secure way. So later on, once you learn a little bit more about the cryptocurrency and how they work, you may want to get a hard wallet. Currently, this is not the most secure way. I'm going to, for the example, I'm going to use MetaMask. This is a wallet that is exists. It's on the internet. You can download and add it to your browsers or your cell phones. It has about 30 million users, so it's pretty common. Again, not the most secure, but it is something that you can start your way with. And we are going to register it on OpenSea. That's the biggest exchange for NFT when you can buy and sell NFT. There are many others. OpenSea is just the bigger. It has about 1 million users. And how do you do that? And I did it as a demo to learn how to do that. I took one of my short stories that I have the copyright. I converted it to JPEG and then upload this JPEG to OpenSea as an NFT and registered it under my name. So first step, you need to download MetaMask. That's the wallet. Again, I'm saying that's not the most secure wallet, but it's pretty popular. And it's good you can begin with it. Then you can get a wallet address once you register. You need the username password, and you need the recovery phrase. The recovery phrase, it's typically either 12 words or 24 words. This is the most important thing. Why? Because if somebody finds the recovery phrase, they can install their own MetaMask and take everything that you have. Or if you lose it, then you can still have access to MetaMask, but if you lose the recovery phrase and also lose your computer, then you're screwed. You will lose all the money that you have there and all the NFTs. You will not have any access to them. They will still exist in the internet, but without the key, you cannot do anything with it. Now, if you lose the key, but you still have access to your MetaMask, what you do, you create another MetaMask and transfer all the NFT to that one, and make sure you keep the recovery phrase there. So there's the warning for phase one. So now you have a MetaMask, and you connect the coin that I was using. The most popular coin is Ethereum. I was using Polygon, and the reason I use Polygon is that it's the transaction fee are a lot cheaper. Ethereum can cost a huge amount of money. Sometimes it could be a few dollars. Sometimes it could, at its peak, I think I heard it could sometimes even be as high as $400 for a short few minutes. So you don't want to pay the high gas fee, the high fee for the transaction. So you use Polygon. Polygon is a fraction of a percentage, and if you do it MetaMask, you can just do it for free. So you don't need to worry about going to an exchange, buy Ethereum in order to pay fee, in order to register your NFT. With Polygon, you just register it for free. You don't need anything else. But it is on Polygon, which is a lot cheaper, but slightly less secure than Ethereum. So if you say something for millions of dollars, do it with Ethereum, or tens of thousands of dollars, do it with Ethereum. If you just want something to learn, you can use Polygon. Then you need to go to OpenSea, sign up to OpenSea, and they ask you to connect your wallet. So there is no user and password to OpenSea. OpenSea wants your wallet, so you need to put username and password to your wallet. Not a passphrase, but the local username and password that you choose. Then choose a blockchain. As I said, I chose a Polygon. Ethereum typically is $5 or $6 per transaction fee, so that's why I was not using it initially. You can use it if you're doing something expensive. And another thing that you can do that it's not possible to do if you do it in a bookstore, you can set it up in Ethereum that if the owner of your book or your JPEG sell it to somebody else for whatever price, you get a percentage of the sales. So you can set it up that way. Today, if you have a book and the book is sold, you can get a commission or advance something, you can get some money from it. But if the book eventually get to a used bookstore and the bookstore sell it again, you don't get anything as the writers. But with this system, you can set it up in such a way that every time the book or the collectible item is sold, you still get some money in it. So it's a smart contract, so you can do more with it than with traditional systems. Now, we're going, of course, when I'm talking with you here, and the one last step you need to do is to mint the Ethereum. You need to upload your picture of your books or your short story, and they need to mint it, and then ask you to validate on the transaction and put your password again. You need to do that, and then it's displayed on OpenSea. You also need to pay to put it on auction or put it for sales and set the price and the other stuff, and then if somebody else wants to buy it, they can buy it. Now I'm going to, because we are writers and want to know how the mentality of the people, I'm going to add a little bit of the lingo of people of crypto users. Where's Lambo? Lambo is shortcut for Lamborghini. So once you put it on display, charge, I don't know, $200, $1,000 equivalent of Ethereum or Polygon. It's not sold immediately. It may not sold immediately. That's reality. So a lot of people are putting NFT, expect to get millions of tens of millions of dollars to buy a Lamborghini, and most of them are there for disappointment. How to buy NFT? If you want not to sell NFT, but buy NFT, you need a digital currency. If you're going to do it in Ethereum, you need to go to an exchange. The biggest exchange that I'm familiar with, BitBuy, CoinPrice, Nadax, Wealthsimple, Newton. Those are Canadian exchanges that you can buy, and there are, of course, there are American exchange and international exchange, Crypto.coin, Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, CoinSmart, Gemini. I did a little bit transaction with NADX. The reason is because I want to buy and sell in Canadian dollars, because I don't want to do the conversion from Canadian dollar to American dollars and convert it back. So it could save like a couple of percentage, but I think some of the buy-ins, for example, have a lot more feature, and you can maybe earn more money there. So it's up to you to do the research, but you need to go to an exchange, buy some Ethereum, add it to your wallet, and then you connect your wallet to OpenSea or whatever NFT vendor that sells the NFTs there. And then you can use the money that you have in your wallet in Ethereum or other currency to buy the NFT. The most popular are, of course, OpenSea, Axie's marketplace. Have here the list if anybody wants to take a screenshot. I'm going to leave it for a bit. The biggest blockchain network in 2022 that are used for Ethereum, that are used for NFTs are Ethereum, Solana, Polygon, Cardano, Tezos, Binance Smart Coin, etc. Now, next slide. I hope anyone who wants to take a screen capture got it. If not, you can either engage me, or if it will be on YouTube, you can watch it again. This is an example that I saw not too far ago. An example that from Arkmanor. This is a publisher that published one of my short story in their magazine Galaxy Edge. So I'm subscribed to them. I got all the information, and I noticed that they use a website called Curate, and they managed to mint NFTs. And this is something for publishers or indie authors who want to do something similar. What they do, it is a smart contract. They mint for each book 500 copies. Each one is titled, you see here in the bottom, they have number 1, number 2, number 24, up to 500 copies. So when you buy a copy of the book, you say, I bought copy number 100. So I am the owner of copy 100. Each book costs $35 to buy it as an NFT. Once you get the NFT is the cover art that has your unique number. So ideally it's for collectibles. Each book is sold for $35. And also, because it's a smart contract, but you have only the person who bought it can have access to the ebook and then read the entire book. That's similar to buying an ebook, but it's kind of a collectible ebook that it's maybe like a signed copy, I don't know, but that is registered on the blockchain network as an NFT, and that specific copy belongs to you. You can sell it. I'm not sure if they will get some percentage of the sale or not, how they set it up, I'm not sure. But because it's smart contract and because it's NFT and because it's collectible, it has a lot of power in it. So just think, if you have 500 copies of Robert Heinlein and each one is $35, that's like $17,500. That's let's say 35 for 100, that's 3,500 times 5. Yeah, that's I don't know, close to $20,000. That's a nice way, and they have a few books like that. So there is I don't know how the Web3 is going to look like, but I see that some publishers are already starting to experiment with how to publish books. Some security tips. I already mentioned that. I'll mention it again. Never, ever, ever give your passphrase, the 12 or 24 words, to anyone, unless that's somebody that is written on your will. Don't put it on your computer, don't put it online on Google. Keep it secure and don't lose it. I don't know what's more dangerous, that hacker will get the number or people lose the security. They pass the seed phrase and then they don't have access to the wallet. Make a few copies of it and put it not just in your house in case it's burned. You probably want to get a safe if you have a large amount. If you have like a couple of $100, fine. But if you are Satoshi Nakamoto and you have $40 billion, yeah, you don't want to lose the key and you don't want anyone to get access to your key. Don't let your computer get hacked. Don't connect your MetaMask. A lot of people, you get something, you need to give your passphrase again to connect your MetaMask to OpenSea. No, this is not the case. MetaMask will never ask you this. Nobody will ever ask you for the passphrase. The only time you need the seed phrase is when you lose access to your wallet and you want to restore access to your wallet with a different device or a different number. That's only if you lose your computer with the MetaMask, or if you put it on a hard wallet and you lose the hard wallet or it broke down, burn, I don't know, then you need the passphrase. You buy another hard wallet and add the passphrase, and then you have access again to it. So this is the biggest problem right now with cryptocurrency. The passphrase, that people lose the passwords or the passwords being hacked. Don't give it online to anyone. Yeah, so this is a joke again. Another meme. Problem with NFTs. One, it's not yet established. There are still a lot of Cameroon hackers. There is no legal framework. It's probably going to take a few years before we have a legal framework. The first thing that I think is going to be regulated by the government is probably stablecoin and the big chains, Bitcoin for certain, and maybe Ethereum as well, some of the others. And the third thing that people are complaining is the ESG. Each transaction, especially on Bitcoin, consume energy, and there's a lot of concern. It could be a real concern. So what can you do about it? Here on the image, we have, I think a few months ago, somebody, I don't remember all the details, was on the newspaper, mint the original script of Pulp Fiction. Yeah, so now there is a legal debate who is the real owner of Pulp Fiction, of the NFT of Pulp Fiction. So now let's go to ESG. ESG, so for the biggest currency right now, it's Bitcoin. The ESG, Bitcoin consume about 1 in 500 of the energy consumption of the world. You could say, oh, it's only 0.2%. It's not a lot, but still 0.2% is a lot. It's more or less equivalent to what Sweden has consumed in terms of electricity. And since we are facing a climate crisis, why add to it, even if it's not that much? If I remember the statistic correctly, when China was, a lot of miners in China were using power from coal plants to mine Bitcoin. That was a big problem. Right now, I believe 59% is mined using renewable energy. Bitcoin is pretty much agnostic to what is the source of energy. So if the energy comes from any renewable, a lot of people argue it's not a real concern. Also, people are saying that you don't need to compare just say Bitcoin consume a lot of energy, but you want to compare it to alternatives. One of the alternatives is gold mine. You can see that here that gold mining consume more energy than mining Bitcoin. And if you look at the banking system, of course, they do a lot more than Bitcoin, but banks, when you go to the bank, you drive your car, park in the parkade, get to a branch that have air condition and computer system, it's also consuming energy, so you need to compare apples to apples. But still, if we can find an alternative that don't use that energy, this is something that is desirable. And that's where proof of stake is coming. So if you compare the amount of energy that Bitcoin it currently mines to a buildings and say this is like the Burj Khalifa, that's the biggest, tallest building on the world. What Ethereum, that most of the NFTs are running on, and the concern I'm talking about is how energy consumption per NFT transaction, each time you buy and sell a JPEG or a book, how much it costs. Right now, Ethereum is also using proof of work, similar to Bitcoin, but it's a much smaller network. So it's comparable to the Pisa Tower. But Ethereum is about to switch to proof of stake. And the transaction currently, it's supposed to happen mid-September. It's about 1 month from now. In the past, it was supposed to be done at the delay. Maybe now it's going to really happen. Typically, if they delay, they have a huge, at least 3-4 months ahead of time or 6 months ahead of time that, yeah, we're going to do it. But right now, they are going ahead with doing the merge and switch Ethereum for proof of work to proof of stake. And when it switches to proof of stake, the amount of energy used by Ethereum to validate transaction is going to drop from something like the Pisa Tower, something like a screw. So it's going to be about 2,000 times less, like less than 0.01%, like 0.005%. So a very, very small amount of energy. So once the switch is done, there is no very, very little energy consumption. So that shouldn't really be concerns, at least for Ethereum and for NFT that are metered on Ethereum. And of course, you can go to other networks like Solana or Cardano that are already using proof of stake that have other issues. But once we switch to proof of stake, that the whole energy issue will become a non-issue. And there is a meme about proof of stake and proof of work. We have about 5 minutes wait, so we have a few buzzwords just in case you want to incorporate it to your writing. Right now, the crypto market is very, very, very volatile. It could go up by 10x, 20x, 100x, 1,000 times. It could go down. A few times it crashed by 85%. Currently, we were going through a crash. It went down about 70% from the top. Yeah, so a lot of meme on this. Crypto farmer, so some of the memes. FUD, that's mean fear, uncertainty, doubt, that everybody is afraid. FOMO, that people are buying like crazy because they are calling for fear of missing out. HODL, I think it's a spelling mistake. It's supposed to be hold. I mean, the people who have diamond heads are keeping the crypto, whether it's going up or down, and try to ignore all the stress. Just keeping, don't care. Airdrop, it's another method. Lambo, it's a short-term Lamborghini. Crypto winter. Some DeFi. NFT can be used for collectible books or collectible items, but it could also be used for many other things, which I'm using in my math story, and maybe in 10 years or 20 years, it's also be used. Right now, instead of using a registration office that you need to pay 400 feet to register your real estate, I'm not talking about the legal aspect, will still be lawyers, but the registration office itself, it could be registered on the Ethereum network as an NFT, so you can do medical files, and then everywhere you go on you fly, you can, I have a proof of vaccination, no problem, just check my wallet, that's my NFT, my vaccination record. Airline ticket, concert ticket, I think Ticketmaster always starting to sell Ticketmaster with NFT, college degree, driver license. You can post a lot of stuff on NFT. We have how many minutes left? About 3 minutes. Do we have any burning questions? Q&A? How easy to convert your ETH for a sale back to money? I don't want to keep it in ETH. Okay, what you do once you have your ETH, if I go to the previous slides, just move the questions. Am I still sharing the screen? I hope so. Here, what you need to do, once you have the Ethereum, let's say you minted it and you got money in Polygon or Ethereum, and it sits in your wallet, you want to convert it to dollar. First of all, you also have to report it to Revenue Canada or IRS, depends what country you are, because it's considered an income. And once it's considered an income, if it continues to go up or down in value, you need to pay, what is it, capital gain. So once you sell it, you need to write it down, and next year when you file your return, give it to your accountant or check how much tax you need to pay. So it's a taxable event. It's listed in the United States and Canada. If you live in the Caribbean or in Portugal, then it's not taxable event. They don't pay taxes on crypto. But what you say, you take the Ethereum from your wallet, you need to open an account in an exchange, one of the exchange here or another exchange. You transfer your Ethereum to the exchange. Make sure to either you have a QR code or the wallet address, copy paste. Make sure not to have any spelling error, because if you transfer it to the wrong wallet, you're in trouble. You will not have access. There's no customer service. So you transfer it to your account in an exchange, and then you can sell it and convert it to US dollar or American dollar, and then transfer it back to your bank. I work with the NDAX. It's a company here in Canada, in Calgary. What I did, I bought a small amount, so I don't collect it to my bank. I did a e-transfer to them. It appeared in my account, and then if I, let's say, have OpenSea, I get money, I can also transfer do the transaction, transfer it from my MetaMask, the Ethereum that I got in my MetaMask, to my account in NADX or Coinbase or Binance or any of the other exchange. And then you sell your Ethereum to Canadian dollar or American dollar. And once you have dollar in your account, you transfer it back to your bank. And again, this is a taxable transaction, but taxes are fair. Like if you make money in stock exchange, in the stock, you also need to pay tax. Q&A, is there a friendly interface for readers to read NFT books? I'm not sure. I guess if it's an ebook, you can put it on a Kindle or Kobo. You have to try to buy maybe a copy from Ankh-Morpork and see how the ebooks works. So thank you very much for the questions and for presenting here. I will try to get a copy of the recording and put it on my YouTube channel. And also this may appear on When Worlds Collide, the YouTube channel. So again, thank you very much. And if you have any questions, I'll go to the last slide. This is my Twitter handle. That's my YouTube channel. See you around, and I hope you can join the Aurora Award ceremony that will be in a few minutes.